Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Anatech. Today, we're going to be covering the rework kits of the Magna and Grievous, as well as the Droideka new kit, new character. So this is exciting. This is some exciting news. I can't wait to get into it. And of course, by the time this came up, because I got the info, you'd have already seen like Arnold T's videos on these characters, as well as some of the other game changers. So that's great. That's great. You know, that's fine. Obviously, because of this, Droideka doesn't have any of the little picture things, which I loved that in the kit, the new kits, having the little pictures. Who is this character good with, etc., etc. So, but lo and behold, let's go ahead and get into this. General Grievous is a droid attacker separatist, so I don't think anything has changed on that one. Excuse me. However, I feel like he could get the cyborg tag, him and Lobot, or just not have a tag in general in that area, and then just in their uniques, they get bonuses. They get droid bonuses and count as a droid, even though they're not a droid. Something to think about maybe for a future CG SB Crom. But anyways, let's get into the abilities. Furious Assault. This one's totally the same but different at the same time. Does physical damage to target enemy and inflict healing immunity for 2 turns. This attack can't be evaded or countered. The basic is a lot different. If the target was already debuffed, deal 30% more damage. Excuse me, I apologize. Grievous' attack deal damage based on his max health instead of his physical damage. So that's interesting. So really right there based on this, and we've gotten news that Grievous is going to be definitely based on attacking through, or he's going to be doing damage based on his max health. He's like the 3rd highest in max health, so it makes really good sense. In my opinion, you'd either want a full health set with as much speed as you can, or maybe a speed health set just to make him be able to attack a lot. And so, yeah, something to think about. Something to think about, people. Anyways, Grievous Wounds. Same ability. Deals physical damage to all enemies. Based on Grievous's max health. Inflict target lock for 2 turns. And remove 30% turn meter from them. So here's target lock. Target lock's coming in. We saw that with the B2. So, that's cool. Skittering Horror. They got rid of the other ability that just gave some debuffs. They just got rid of it. And I like it. I like the animations of him skittering across the battlefield and attacking. Of course, I know they kind of got this idea from, obviously seeing it from the movies and the Clone Wars series and stuff like that. But they also got it from the game Battlefront 2. The little crawl and then get up and attack the enemy, which is still cool to see. And I like how Battlefront and with EA, Battlefront and Galaxy of Heroes shares some similar animations. They did this with Jyn Erso, Director Krennic, Chewbacca. The original trilogy Chewbacca got that ability, so hey, there you go. But anyway, Skittering Horror. Gains health steal up for 2 turns, then deal physical damage based on Grievous's max health to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn. If the target was already debuffed, they lose 10% of their max health, excluding raid bosses, which can't be resisted. And Grievous gains 10% max health for the rest of the encounter. This attack can't be evaded. So another can't be evaded ability. So this is the only one that can be evaded, which tells me there's so many attacks nowadays. They're just like, can't be evaded, can't be evaded, can't be evaded. So they really don't want you evading. They probably just want to get rid of that past evasion meta. Anyway, so let's go to the leader. The leader is a really interesting, and it does hurt the Sith just as well as the Jedi. Daunting Presence. All enemies have negative 40% critical avoidance and negative 50% defense. So they kind of kept I've talked about this in numerous videos that they should keep the negative 20% crit chance, crit damage, and up it. But they kept the negative part of it, but they added 2 different other bonuses, which actually I don't mind. I don't mind, except when I've recently unlocked Traya, and that critical avoidance on Traya is useless. Also, if I decide to use Bastila, the Sith Bastila, and to give the Sith Apprentice ability to the leader, that leader is not going to have that 50% defense. It negates that. It's crazy. But anyways, when a Darkside droid ally is resisted, that droid gains 10% potency stacking for the rest of the encounter. When a target locked enemy is damaged, each droid and separate ally gains 2% turn meter. Doubled for Grievous. When damaged by an attack, dark side enemies lose 5% turn meter, and light side enemies lose 2% potency stacking. Excuse me. That is way interesting. So he's good against the light side and dark side. Because if you watch the Clone Wars animated series, he's faced Night Sisters. He faced Hondo's Pirates, which, you know, yeah. Hopefully Hondo comes into the game and is kind of like up there as a, you know, an annoying threat. I'm sure Hondo will be paired with Chewie and Raid Han. Scoundrel teams there. So, yeah. That is against both. And then let's go ahead and go to the Metalloid Monstrosity. This is a way different. Like, he still has kind of a retreat ability kind of aspect where in the old kit he threw up a taunt onto a random droid ally. Now it's a little different. At the start of Grievous' turn, all other droid allies take damage equal to 8% of his max health. Doubled for light side droids. And he gains 5% max health and potency for each other droid ally for the rest of the encounter. This damage obviously can't defeat characters. Wow, that's insane. So if you notice, if you do watch the Clone Wars animated series, he does attack or knock droids out of his way. He attacks droids when they say something, even though it's funny to us, it's just so annoying to him. He's like, I don't want to hear that from my droids. Wham! Slam! So I can see why this makes sense. He's throwing droids in the way. Here, take some damage for me. It's just how Grievous operates. So, and it also is doubled for light side droids. So if you run R2 with them, he's going to take 16% of his max health. Wow, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was like 5 to 10, not 8 to 16. Who knows? Maybe they may change that in the future. We'll see what happens. At the start of each character's turn, if Grievous is below 100% health, he dispels all debuffs on himself and inflicts marked on the other healthiest droid ally until the end of on the other healthiest droid ally until the end of the turn. When a droid or separatist ally is defeated, Grievous dispels all debuffs on himself, resets all abilities or all ability cooldowns, and gains 1 bonus turn. So that is really interesting. I have to admit, it really is interesting. He dispels. So there were some similarities to the old kid. He dispels stuff on himself. He throws marked on the healthiest droid ally. So say like Grievous survived the first marked ability from Revan, and then he gets knocked low, and marked already went away. Now marks will go to say Droideka or Magna Guard, and Revan can't get around that. It's a forced taunt. It's different than an actual taunt. So that is huge. That is huge. It makes me wonder if there's going to be more character synergies with marked to be like, no, I'm going to start the match and automatically mark my my ally tank to take the damage right off the bat, which I want him to do. So the only thing that gets around that is evasion or AoEs. So that's Grievous. Wow. So, and if you have seen some gameplay, he's taken on Jedi Knight Revan. He's taken on JTR. One of the teams this team doesn't work with is, of course, CLS, because of all the counterattacks. And I noticed counterattack teams tend to destroy some teams that normally beat other teams, so it's kind of interesting. Anyways, Droideka. Let's talk about the Droideka. Droid Separatist Attacker. He's not a tank, but he has some tank aspects in himself, which is kind of weird and interesting. Destructive droid attacker that punishes fast enemies from behind its deflector shield. Also, there might be a tweak in the future where we actually get to see his deflector shield up, because it shows up and then it kind of shimmers away, even though it's supposed to be supposedly still there. So, all right. Basic twin blaster cannons deal physical damage to target enemy. Additionally, if the target has higher speed than Droideka, deal true damage, which ignores defense but can't critically hit, which scales based on the difference in their speed. So you do more damage based on the difference in speed. So you really do not want Droideka to be that fast. Like maybe like 5 speed on each mod, and that's it. Whereas everyone else is like pushing to like plus 150. And I hope we see more characters built like this, so that the name of the game isn't always speed, 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 speed. It gives you a way to create a new strategy around these style of characters. Destructive armament deal physical damage to target enemy and true damage, and an additional time for each stack of charge. Then inflict target lock for 2 turns. This attack can't be evaded. So that's interesting. We'll get to charge here in a second. Reconstructive Revolution. Dispel all debuffs on Droideka and gain damage immunity. Can't be copied. And tenacity up for 2 turns. Then recover 10% protection for each stack of charge. Now, I want to say this is damage immunity can be dispelled. It can be dispelled. It's not like Jango Fett's immunity. And Annihilate does go through it. But the damaging can be dispelled, which means Boba Fett's Execute might actually be able to do some extra damage. Because it can be dispelled. So, well, I don't know, I have to read Fett's Execute again, but anyways, let's go on. But yeah, I like that. I like that ability. He rolls and stuff. Deflector Shield Generator. The final text. Droideka gains 10% turn meter and a stack of charge for 1 turn whenever an enemy takes a turn. Additionally, Droideka recovers 10% protection whenever it targets a target-locked enemy. So another target-lock character. They're really pushing target-lock for droids, so definitely be ready for more droids with target-lock. Droideka has plus 50 speed and 25 evasion unless it has damage immunity. If Droideka has damage immunity, it has negative 50 speed and a 35% chance to assist, dealing 50% less damage whenever another Separatist ally uses an ability, once per turn. So that is interesting, for sure. And then the charged ability gives plus 5% offense per stack. So the more charges he has, the more damage he'll be able to dish out. So I like this. We've gotten a lot of new buffs, debuffs, everything. We've got marked on another character. I wouldn't mind seeing more Death Mark, or Death Mark or something like that, that Death Trooper gives. But hopefully we see that like maybe in a Commando droid or something. There we go. Anyways, going on, let's go ahead and talk about the rework of the Magna Guard. Now, I was hoping Magna Guard would have something similar to Bastila Fallen or Chewbacca, but they don't. He doesn't. So, basic Electro Staff. Assault. Deal physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to inflict target lock for 2 turns. If the target was already target locked, Magna Guard dispels all debuffs on itself and another random Separatist ally. So he's kind of the dispeller of the team, which is cool. Disruption deals physical damage to all enemies, so it's kind of the same ability. And dispel all debuffs on all Separatist allies. Magna Guard and Grievous gain speed up for 2 turns. So he does give some synergy there with Grievous and Magna Guard. Stunning Strike. He has a new ability, and it's the Zeta ability. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. Then stun them for 1 turn. If no buffs were dispelled, reset the cooldown of this ability. So this is kind of an Ezra Bridger ability. Physical damage target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. So it's just kind of like Ezra's ability, but now it's, for Magna Guard. Which I think if no buffs were dispelled, reset the cooldown is probably this part's the Zeta, I think. Which is not much for a Zeta. Like, honestly, if there's no buffs, I don't know. We'll find out more when it comes out. Anyways, let's go ahead and cover Relentless Assault. They kept the same name, but they totally other than the counter chance, they totally changed how Relentless Assault works. Which I thought this would have been they would have gotten rid of the Omega, refunded the Omegas, and gave us the Zeta for this instead. But Magna Guard has 70% counter chance and gains taunt for 1 turn. when it uses an ability during its turn. Okay. So he's going to be taunting a lot. Gains taunt for 1 turn when it uses its ability. General Grievous and Magna Guard gain 20% tenacity and defense for each target locked enemy. The first time Magna Guard reaches 1%, it takes 1 bonus turn and then is defeated. During this bonus turn, Magna Guard has 100% offense. Now that he's still a tank, so he doesn't dish out a lot of damage, but it does help. He might be able to knock out an enemy character that's almost dead. So he might be able to have that enough push to knock that character out. But then he dies. But it doesn't say it can't be revived. So if some way you decide to sub out a different character for, say, Jawa Engineer, he's going to come right back. Right. So, but yeah, that is the kit of the Magna Guard. I think it's cool that they're kind of sharing some abilities with other characters like Ezra and so on. I wouldn't mind seeing more synergy between him and Grievous. And his old ability, I just realized today, I feel like the old ability of Magna Guard, where if he's not damaged for a while, he gains speed. Then if he already has speed up, he gains offense up. Oh, well, he still has the speed up. I just realized that. He does have the speed up, but that's up here now. Gains offense up. I think that should be added to like IG-86 to give some more give some more use out of IG-86. But that's whatever. But other than that, let me know what you guys think of these kits in the comments below. Do you like them? Do you wish there was more from them? I kind of do in some ways, but I do like these kits. They're really crazy, way out there, way out there. Like the uniqueness came from B1 and on, so I'm expecting to see so many more crazy kits in the future. So again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all those that watch the videos I make. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a wonderful day.